7-yard line. That's a great call. Blake Baker, Plummer will put it up, throws over the middle. Poole, touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levis swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Another Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure. Chuck this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025.
Just one the other way. Still going back. Got the drag. Walks up and down.
Edwards pulls off and buries it.
Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.
Takes his shot for Derby. Flag out. Doesn't matter. Touchdown.
What is up, my Pitchfork Lunch peeps? Welcome in to Mike. What day is it? Hump day. Woo woo. Yep, that day of the show. You know, it's my mama's favorite commercial. For those of you that watch, I again let you know, talk about it all the time as we talk about it all the time. It's your favorite commercial, A, because it has my name in it, but B, she just always got a kick out of the camel just walking through the office. Nonetheless, yes, it is Wednesday. So again, Big night tonight. We had Bailey Miller on yesterday from Sun Devil Women's Volleyball. You know this, the reigning Big 12 champs. And, a little bit of, I guess you could say, a revenge match. As Baylor, they are in town from Waco. No, they didn't, and they didn't let them bring their crickets. I know, my last mention. I couldn't resist. You guys know me. They aren't allowed. They weren't allowed to bring their crickets. So, but yeah, I mean, you got to think second year in the Big 12, and this is kind of like the revenge match. And talking to the awesome Bailey Miller about that yesterday. Again, if you missed it, you can still see it. Don't worry, we'll get to that. But so big matchup against Baylor tonight. But I am Michael Carrasnudo at Diablos00 on X, the artist formerly known as the Twitter. You can see the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also, don't be bashful. Don't be bashful and go check out the IG also at michael.carrasnudo.5. I know it's there as well. But guys, you know this, the YouTube channel. Go to YouTube, subscribe or watch live. Always watch live on YouTube. But guys, subscribe to my channel, because if you missed that phenomenal con review with Bailey Miller yesterday, getting to know her. I mean, the senior that's stepped into this role, obviously transferred here from West Virginia, like we talked about. But she, obviously having a very solid senior year, season so far to this point. And you missed that. But yes, you can go to YouTube. You can watch live, but subscribe so you can binge watch season 1 if you missed it. Shame on you. Season 2 if you missed it. Double shame on you. We're in season 3, so keep watching. But watch those and get caught up, as we've talked to many different players from different sports, but the coaches as well. And a little homage to Sun Devil softball, my friends. But yeah, it's one of those things where when you look at it, like, you have a lot to catch up on, but you will see it again with, like I said, the interviews and all that good stuff. So you can again, when we have these con reviews, be all caught up. So, but you see my name, Michael Carrasnudo. Go to YouTube. You know how to get there. But it's at M as in Michael, V as in Victory, C as in Champ, 005, at MVC005 on YouTube, guys. And subscribe. Like I said, you'll get all caught up. Coaches, players, voices, insiders, alum, the awesome athletic director we are going to have back on in the very near future. So yes, I know, and it is a lot to get to, but but volleyball tonight, was it 7 p.m.? 7 p.m. Yes, at Desert Financial Arena. You can get there again, get in the crowd. You've heard Coach Van Neal talk about this. You heard Bailey talk about it yesterday, like the electricity, the vibe, everything, on campus. Yes, carrying over from winning the Big 12 in their first year in it. Yes, absolutely. I don't know if you guys know this, but they won the Big 12 in their first year last year. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that. Anyway, that being said, Baylor will be here, and they are ranked 16th in the country. I want to say, Baylor. Let's see. Baylor is ranked 16th, I want to say. Yes, Baylor is at 16th. They are 9-4 overall. And the Devils, as you know, are 8th in the country, 12-2 overall. They're only 2 losses to number 2 Texas and to number 4 Pitt. They did beat number 19 Penn State, who again was number 2 at the time. But and Penn State is 8-6 right now, and they are actually down 3 spots. They were at 16th, but they are 19th right now. But look, everybody's getting their best. When you're the national, just like we're talking to Bailey yesterday. Everybody in the Big 12 is going to give you like their championship effort. And it, not too many of their matches have gone to 5. Obviously, Kansas did, as we talked about. But yeah, with Baylor, again, a little revenge from last year as they beat, just to remind you, talked about it, mentioned it yesterday, but talked about beat TCU to open Big 12 play on the road, and then lost to Baylor, and then went on a sick winning streak after that. Speaking of TCU, by the way, they're ranked 11th. They're the second highest ranked Big 12 team, as you have our Sun Devils, Forks Up, at 8. TCU at 11. Kansas at 15. Baylor at 16. BYU at 21. Colorado at 24. So that is where the Big 12 stands in the AVCA Women's Bowl. So yes, it's the other thing too is soccer. They have some. They have a match coming up. Another road match. I know. I've said this to you, but again, so many home in a row got way too comfortable. I don't mean the team, by the way. I mean the team got way too comfortable. I got way too comfortable being able to go out there, see them, cover it, enjoy it. Obviously. But yeah, coming off that split with Cincinnati and West Virginia. Friday, this coming Friday, they are at number 24, Colorado. And then a week from today, or no, a week from tomorrow, pardon me. A week from tomorrow, they will play number 11, Texas Tech. But that is at Sun Devil Soccer Stadium. So at least you get to see them, you know? So, yes, number 11, Texas Tech, a very good team. Red Raiders will be here. But they do have Colorado. They are in Boulder next this Friday. Again, game 6 p.m. on ESPN+. So, again, no reason not to check it out. Friday night, hanging out. And then yeah, and then volleyball they play tonight, and then they don't play again until this. What am I talking about? They have number 24 Colorado at 7 p.m. Friday night. Yes, they do. That is this Friday again. So, but got to take care of Baylor first. We'll get into that. Like I want to let you know, obviously soccer, playing Colorado as well this Friday. So yes, and soccer, as you know, 9-2-2 overall, 2-2-1 in conference play. They're 6-1-1 at home, 3-1-1 on the road. So yes, those are the kind of numbers that you hear in the for a team in the winning that obviously will lead you to the postseason. Yes, you need to build. Yes, you obviously need to get better. You can't assume, but you guys know what I'm getting at. So yeah, that is what soccer. When soccer has coming up. By the way, swim and dive, my friends. I know I said I'd mention it. They are 1-0, and they took on UNLV last Friday, obviously when hockey was starting their regular season as well against Penn State. They took on UNLV, and they crushed them 236-60. At the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center, which you Pitchfork Lunchers know, that's where they're at. I've told you I've been there, all that awesome stuff. But, yeah, it was packed. They had a Friday night event, and it was absolutely packed. There were people in the garages, in the garage nearby that you go up to the top, you can actually see into the pool and everything. So some people had to resort to that. But yeah, for Coach Herbie Bain back again, like I said, men's and women's Big 12 champs last year. So yeah, they're the the men beat UNLV 236-60. But yeah, so they had UNLV, and then this Friday again, but that's at 1:00. But it'll go for a while because it's the all Arizona Invite, which is down in Tucson, hosted by that school down south. And then on October 24th, a Friday, they will be at number 8 Stanford. And then the 25th on Saturday, they go to Cal. And right now, Cal is tied for being the fourth ranked team in the country, swim wise, on the men's side. So, and then November 8th, they will host USC at 11 a.m. on that Saturday here at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center. So yeah, Cal, and then Southern Cal, November 8th, but Cal's the 25th of October, the 8th. And then November 21st to 23rd, they have a dual meet at the Allen Jones Aquatic Center Friday through Sunday. It's the CSCAA Power 4 dual meet. So yes, just to give you a little heads up, men's swimming, also I want to say women's swimming doing the same thing, but let's yeah, they want to know. They beat UNLV 242-57. So yeah, equally as bad. They just beat up on UNLV. And then yeah, at the All Arizona Invite down in Tucson, and then the 24th Stanford, 25th Cal of October, and then November 7th they have actually UCLA at the Mona Plummer Aquatic Center. So something to look forward to there. And then November 8th they have USC. So that'll be pretty cool. You see the women get after it November 7th and 8th. But yeah, just a lot going on, guys. Hoops is like 25 days away from starting as well. We'll get Kyle Dodd on. We'll get Kyle Dodd on to talk about, this ASU team, this new team that's been put together. And yes, there's a lot of players gone from the transfer portal, a lot of players brought back in, but it should be interesting. It should be interesting. And that's on the men's side. On the women's side, obviously, a new head coach. Molly Miller comes in. I mean, just the energy, what practice has been. Again, just pounding the recruiting trails literally since the ink wasn't even dry. I think she barely signed it and had a recruit waiting out in the hallway. So, but yeah, her and her staff that she's put together, absolutely amazing. They get rolling too. So yeah, it'll be very, very awesome. Again, it's crazy around here, but volleyball rolling, football rolling, obviously soccer, and then you get swimming in the mix a little bit now, and then men's and women's golf as well. Come on, it's a pitchfork lunch heaven. You guys know this. But anyway, hey, we're going to step aside real quick. When we get back, we're going to hear from we're going to hit a little football practice. We're going to hear from Coach Dillingham, and then we're going to hear from Coach Arroyo and Coach Aguano. So yes, not too crazy long, but we hear from them because look, this is big. Utah, Saturday, Rice-Eccles Stadium in Salt Lake City. It's supposed to be rainy. It's going to be loud and insane. Man, it's going to be a fun one. And no, you're not getting a prediction until Friday. So, and for those of you saying, oh, you're just going to pick ASU and just say, well, just say the score because you're picking. Nope, you know nothing. And but yeah, so again, just to reset that, a ton going on. But like I said, with basketball starting, men's and women's golf, they have a little bit going on too for the fall. But then volleyball rolling, football rolling, soccer rolling. You get hoops in the mix. So it's the most wonderful time of the year, right? Love that song. But anyway, step aside, talk football. Utah. We'll just hear from Coach Dillingham, Coach Arroyo, and Coach Aguano after this. So stay tuned for more Pitchfork Lunch.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
All right, we are back here on Pitchfork Lunch. Yes, I am Michael Caratino at Diablo00 on X, formerly known as the Twitter. You guys know it. Check out the show live there every day, Monday through Friday, 12 to 1. Also on my IG, Michael.Caratino.5. Yes, on the good old Instagram. And YouTube, guys. You know, like I reminded you at the top of the show, go to the YouTube channel, watch live, and subscribe away. Get all caught up because you have missed a just ton of phenomenal Sun Devil content. And it's about the Sun Devils, hence phenomenal. But yes, we will hear from Kenny Dillingham. YouTube. It's at Emerson Michael V is in Victory Season Champ 005 at MVC 005 on YouTube. So yes, fair way. But we will hear first from, we're going to hear from Coach Dillingham. Wednesday practice, the last day that, media gets to check in on practice, which again is so grateful. I'm not saying that in a bad way either, guys. Just again, access what I like stuff, what I bring you again is just absolutely awesome to be able to get that out there, get the Sun Devil content out there, and this football team rocking and take on a tough Utah opponent. Who again, Rice-Eccles Stadium is going to be loud. The weather might be not so good. So with a little bit of rain and a little bit of rain in Salt Lake, it's not like when somebody says a little bit of rain and they somehow manage to it says a little bit of rain and manages to just pour, and then they say it's going to pour and there's no rain. But nonetheless, they are preparing for it. We'll hear from, like I said, Coach Dillingham, Coach Arroyo, and Coach Aguano. Again, Relique Brown back healthy this year, again, as we knock on wood for that. And, man, just – we talk about maybe doing running back by committee because Coach trusts the guys and because they have the depth. Coach, yes, he does trust them. You'll hear from him about that. But it's awesome. But I don't know. I mean, look, when they say it's going to rain and all that good stuff, here sometimes when he said like last Friday and Saturday, obviously it rained a ton and it wasn't typical Arizona rain. Like, it's going to be, in your neighborhood in this part of the valley, it's going to rain really hard. And then it rains, it comes down, it rains. It's not crazy hard. Maybe, a light sprinkle, but nothing crazy. In Salt Lake, when they say they're going to have it, it's going to be like that. Yeah, you lean towards it because they have a little bit more of it. But we'll see. And the Devils are headed there. So, but yes, without further ado, again, it was wasn't too crazy, but yeah, let's hear from Sun Devil head coach Kenny Dillingham. Like I said, it's not tongue in cheek when he's talking about Utah, by the way. We'll see. And the Devils are headed there. So, but yes, without further ado, again, let's hear from. So yes, let's get to Coach Dillingham. Yep, here he is from today.
Trench warfare game today. Saturday, it seems like.
Yeah, it's going to be they've been a team that's dominated the line of scrimmage for a lot of years. And it's a good challenge for our guys. They got really good talent up front and in the box. It's a good challenge for our guys to try to, match that.
What makes Rice-Eccles just such a hostile atmosphere?
loud. It's really loud. It's usually sold out and loud. People know how to cheer, and yeah, it's just loud.
With Jalen Moss coming back, what have you made of him in practice this week, and how do you think he'll elevate you guys specifically in the red zone?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we'll find out. You know, we have a lot of confidence in Derek out there right now at that spot. So definitely add some depth for us. So that's been a good part is the depth.
Where's your O-line at going into this game?
Yeah, I mean, we're healthy. And I think anytime you're at week, whatever we're at now, 7, you know, it's game 6, but week 7, and you're healthy, that's a positive. So for us, that's the number one thing is we're healthy. We're definitely going to mix and match some pieces come Saturday, kind of like we did the last week, just to try to get some guys so they don't have to play 75, 80 snaps, and move some pieces around and try to, you know, be the best for our football team.
Wade Helton's like played a lot in the last game. How did he do, and how ready is he?
He played really well. You know, being able to mix Wade at center, Ben at center, Ben at guard, Wade at guard, Janetto at guard, Clem at tackle, like being able to mix it up is good for us to do. So we got to continue to do that.
What excites you just about this chance for you guys to push through some adversity with the weather and go to a hostile environment?
Yeah, I really don't care about the weather. Like, obviously, we got to prepare for it. We got to spray, you know, footballs down as much as we can. We got to do stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you know, football is won by one person moving the other person the other direction and then not giving the other team the ball. Right? At the end of the day, like, weather can affect how you get that accomplished. But you still have to take care of the football, and you still have to move the person in front of you the other direction, right? So I think, you know, whether there's not rain, yeah, we're into it. We can't prepare for it. We live in a desert. We don't get much of it naturally. We have to play some wet ball drills, but we're not focused on that. We're focused on, you know, the task at hand, which is Utah.
Coming into the season, you did want to have a running back by committee. Isn't it consequential that Raleigh right now is really the bell cow more than just really getting more running backs involved?
No, I think it's just part of where we're at. You know, I think you got to adapt every year. You think you have a plan, but really you have no plan. You're in a constant state of preparation. You know, Pastor Warren Stewart said that to me, you know, 6 months ago at something. They said, how do you prepare for moments? He goes, well, how do you plan for things? He goes, well, I'm constantly in a state of preparation. And I think that's football. That's the season. You have a plan, but your plans get thrown out the window every day. You're in a constant state of preparation.
Yesterday when Sam Levitt was talking, he opened up about how he thinks in the beginning of the year he was focusing too much on the preseason Heisman expectations, and then once he centered himself, it was really beneficial. How have you seen it grow mentally throughout the season?
Yeah, I mean, Sam's a competitor, so I didn't see that clip, so I don't want to comment too much on it because I didn't see it, but I definitely know Sam's a competitor.
Yeah, and you heard Coach right there. I mean, Sam's a competitor, and like you said, you know, the Heisman stuff. And look, I even said at the beginning of the year, he's saying the right things, but I mean, it's constantly being thrown out there. It's constantly being at him. It's human nature. Of course, you're going to think about it, and maybe you press a little bit. And you know, the first half of the Mississippi State game was, I mean, his toughest, you know, you say bad performance as a Sun Devil. Like it was, and. Yeah, they charged back. Yeah, they had a lead. They ended up falling short. And, you know, that's when a quarterback, like Coach says, you know, he looks himself in the mirror. He has, but he says, obviously, he talks to Gillingham, Coach Arroyo, obviously, well, we'll get to that too. But, yeah, you know, now he's just kind of like, again, still competing. Not that he just like relaxed and, oh, yeah, we'll get to it when we get to it, like to prepare. No, he just relaxed. And that is, you know, a good thing because he's able to he's been able to, again, just run this offense again. When he has to run and take off, you know, that spin move. We heard Clayton Smith yesterday saying he gives it a 10 out of 10. He said of course, he said he would never do it to him. But, you know, you got to love it. A little, obviously, the competitive juices Coach talks about, a little banter, offense, defense, back and forth. As you know, Sam Lowe would say, of course I can spin off. I make a spin move, I'm leaving Clayton in the dust. So but we talked to Clayton and he said it wouldn't happen. So guess what? I'm going to tend to maybe agree with him. It wouldn't happen. But yeah, I mean, settling in again, running this offense, you know, Raleigh Brown settling in, obviously you still have Kyson Brown. It was, so yeah, I mean, look, Sam Levis settled down. You know, you got these these running backs, these tight ends. We talked about the the weapons and the toys and the luxuries around him and just dumping it off guys. Now a guy like Derek Eusebio steps up. Jalen Moss is trending on being back this week, and Coach mentioned that. So another speedster at receiver, and just opens the field up even more, underneath, because of course you'd rather get beat underneath and make tackles like Utah's defense does. You break a tackle from them, get out of a tackle from them, and I keep the ball, because it does not happen often to a Kyle Whittingham team. So, but and he's just, they got to prepare, like you said, for the terrain, the weather, but for a tough opponent. Trending on being back this week, and Coach mentioned that. So, another speedster at receiver, and just opens the field up even more, underneath, because of course you'd rather get beat underneath and tackles like Utah's defense does. You break a tackle from them, get out of the tackle. So yes, but let's hear from Coach Arroyo. Yes, we will hear from Coach Arroyo, offensive coordinator, again, doing a hell of a job. And, he talks about Sam too as well. But yes, here is Marcus Arroyo after practice today.
Style in this coaching group, it seems like for decades since I was a player. I mean, it's how long this group's been up there. They coach them really, really well. They're really strong. They're really big up front. They're really good man coverage. They're really well with their techniques. They've run the same system with the same alignment for a really long time, and they recruit to that. They do a really, really good job. They don't beat themselves. They know where to get lined up. They can line up really late, know what they're doing. So it's going to be a great test.
Marcus, what do you feel would be the factors to get the red zone offense more productive and get in the end zone?
Well, I mean, we got to be more productive, obviously, because first there's a bunch of plays down there that we killed ourselves. We've got a bunch of penalties. We've got more penalties and holding calls than we've had collectively right now over the course of last season. And we put ourselves in some positions that are unadvantageous to put yourself in effective in that area. Got to win your one-on-ones. Got to get creative in some ways that maybe we thought we could take advantage of with the change. And I'm excited to see how these guys obviously get gone 2 weeks.
What did you like about Wade Helpman? He came in against TCU and bodes well for his future.
The first thing is his personality. He's so eager to play. It's really nice to see a guy come off the bench and be that fired up. He's been that eager all year to get in there. He's got a lot of background with the position even as a young guy. I just say this whole last week and this week together, having him in there snapping the ball on the bench has been awesome, because he's just been excited to be in there. He likes to play football, and anybody in the trenches who likes to play football that much and not get recognized, they don't have these stats usually. It's always awesome for us to see.
A lot of targets outside of Jordan have really been making timely plays lately. Like Malik had that 15-yard catch on third down. Jaron had that 44-yard catch after.
Yeah.
How much do those guys raise the ceiling of the offense, and especially with Jalen Moss coming back?
Yeah, I mean, being able to spread the ball a little bit around is obviously helps your offense when you're not targeting on such a dynamic player like Jordan. Because you see guys step up and watch guys like Jaron make some big plays and start to really come to life. We've seen Shimon do that. Leak's making his plays. It just helps you spread the field a little bit more and take a little bit off the light off Jordan, obviously, who's a really special player. We know how much we target him. But those guys are contributing factors to things like the red zone and third down that got to step up, because we can spread it around a little bit more, and those guys got to become more effective and find ways to utilize them.
Yesterday when Sam Levitt was talking, he opened up on how he thinks he put too much on his shoulders with the preseason expectations, and he said that you were someone that he leaned on a lot to kind of recenter himself. How have you seen him grow mentally throughout the year?
Sam's a special kid, special individual. I think we spent a lot of time in the bye week of getting grounded and trying to be human again. This game can, in this situation, and the narratives can lift you really high and slam you really hard if you let it. And I think he can get carried away. I think it says a lot about Sam to be able to open up and say that. There's a lot of humility in the ability to say I was maybe focused or distracted or
All right, so Coach, headed obviously back up to Utah. The coach mentioned that we all know, I mean, even after last year, but the last time I'm in Utah wasn't that pretty. But going up there now, I mean, knowing what that crowd is like, I mean, Coach Arroyo just said probably one of the best away environments to play in the country. But having experienced what it is up there, how much does it help prep the team?
I think coach's knowledge of what's about to happen for those guys that haven't been there, especially the guys that just been here last year or this year, just understanding that how much prepared we have to be, knowing what we're going to face, and those things. I thought Mississippi State did a good job with their crowd noise, probably very similar. Now we're going to have to handle the elements of the rain and things like that. But I think it's a different team and cultured team that we had 2 years ago, and so I think mentally we are a lot better place.
And like I've been saying on my show, knock on wood, and not a mass unit either going up there.
Absolutely.
What and obviously the rain. I mean, I know we always kid around out here, you know, getting ready for games. Obviously for the heat is easy, but if it does rain, I mean, obviously big for running backs, ball security. What are some of the little things that you can do, obviously, to you know, try and emulate that, at least to get ready for the game, the wet ball and everything?
Yeah, you know, it's the wet ball. Too bad we have, you know, not too bad, but we have 300 days of sun, and so trying to emulate that is hard. Do all the things, work extra on our ball control, taking care of the ball, and doing all those things in our individual drills will help out. But just re-emphasize it, take care of the football. I think goes a long way when we play in those kind of elements.
And obviously, Raleek, I mean, I know the last few seasons we always talk about, oh, you know, it might be by, you know, committee, and then there's a guy that becomes Coach Rothstein, a guy that becomes a bell cow, you know, is just doing it. But I mean, this room, I mean, it's probably, I mean, with Kyson and obviously Raleek, and you see Kanye and you know, Jason and Man, what he's been doing, like the confidence I know that you have in your room, but is this the deepest that you feel your room has been in the time you've been here?
I think so. You know, I have confidence that any of those guys can rise to the top and can play a significant role. Leak, you know, basically he took that role right now, and it's funny because the past 7 years has always been that way. Are we a team that's going to share carries and then somebody takes over? And we've seen it that much now. Those other guys have the ability to go in and play, and the younger guys are very, very talented. So I'm very excited about that group. The thing is, you know, how do you keep that group all focused when you're not getting into football? And those are the things that we try to reiterate in our team room.
And then obviously, lastly, I mean, Kyle Whittingham, it's well documented what he's done there at Utah. But I mean, defensively, when you look at, you know, facing one of his teams, I mean, it just seems like they run their system and they recruit to it. But at the same time, like when you're preparing for that, I mean, knowing it is one thing because you've seen it for a while, but how tough is it to prepare for that defense?
I mean, it's tough because they don't make mistakes. It's tough because they play physical, so we have to match their intensity and physicality and then go and execute on our side. I think people worry too much about what the opponent is, and then instead of spending time on themselves and executing and doing that. And I think that's what we're trying to do, is worry about how we can play, because athletically I think we match up really well, but we have to match their physicality, their mental set that Utah's always been good, and Coach Whittingham does an incredible job.
There we are. And there's Coach Roy on Coach Aguano. So, yes, you know, then talking to, you heard Coach Arroyo obviously talking about what Sam can do, what he's done, what, you know, how he's just worked and, you know, been working. But this offense, guys are getting back. And I mean, Derek Eusebio, Coach Dillingham mentioned him as well. So it's you know, very interesting when you think about it, because you know, obviously Derek Eusebio making the huge catch on the road in Waco. The two catches, but I mean the long one, and just absolutely crushed it. So, but yeah, Coach Aguano, I mean, yeah, what Coach Whittingham does, and it works. But you know, look, they'll be ready. They're preparing. They'll be ready. It'll be a tough game. It'll be, you know, black and blue. It'll be that heavyweight fight in the middle of the ring where the fighters are just exchanging haymakers, and that is again what always makes it interesting. So, yes, but yeah, volleyball, guys, get around with that. Again, number 8 ASU taking on number 16 Baylor. The Devils right now 3-0 in conference play, one game behind Colorado, who is 4-0. But yeah, Devils Could be 4-0 after tonight. Could be 3-1. We'll see. But yeah, 12-2 overall for ASU, 13-2 for Colorado, who's up top. Colorado's won both their home and away conference games. ASU has won their one home game against Utah, but both away games, Kansas and K-State, as you guys know. But I'm just reminding you, just keeping you up. So Baylor, yeah, they just lost to Kansas in 5. That was their first conference loss. Again, they played Kansas, Houston, and TCU, and Texas Tech. Yeah, they were at Texas Tech. They won 3-1. At TCU, they won 3-2. At Houston, they swept them in 3. Kansas, they lost in 5. And now they have the Devils here in Tempe, my friends. So, yes, it's a little little bit of revenge from last year because Baylor won. But
They're preparing. They'll be ready. It'll be a tough game. It'll be.
But yeah, I mean that's where that is where they are at, yet to say the least. As they're here in Tempe, and again they did beat them last year there. I didn't jest, I talk about the Crickets, but yeah, Baylor again a solid team. And when you look at
Colorado's won both their home and away conference games. ASU has won their one home.
When you look at the stats, I couldn't get the word out.
So Baylor, yeah, they just lost to Kansas in 5.
In average points per set, ASU is at 17.88. They are third in the conference. Baylor's at 16.95, which puts them at 10th. Opponents' hitting percentage, ASU is tops in the conference, my friends. We talk about defense. I love the defensive side of the ball and everything, but volleyball, the way obviously Coach Van Niel, since he's been here, has been playing defense, absolutely just stellar. But yeah, they are tops in opponents' hitting percentage. Their opponents are hitting 151 against them. Pretty darn good, guys. And then when you look at hitting percentage, ASU is 8th. They're hitting 252, and Baylor is 11th, hitting 239. So both, in that range where they obviously, as competitors, as coaches, as a team, you want to be a little higher, but in the range where in the middle of the road there in the Big 12, probably like to be a little bit better hitting percentage. And you have Cincinnati leading the conference at 290. And again, ASU hitting 252. So in the grand scheme of it, not crazy far off, but yes, it's, going to take a little bit to get there. And then ASU is 4th, by the way, in the conference in their opponents' assists per set. They're giving up 10.56. UCF is the only team under 10. They're number 1 at 9.85. So, but yeah, ASU 4th. Baylor is 8th at 11.02. So, it's one of those things. Assist-wise, ASU, no surprise, they're 4th as they have 12.69, so just about 13 assists per set. Baylor is actually at 13th at 1181. So almost a whole assist less per game than ASU. Opponents' kills, the Devils, again, 4th. Their opponents have 11.25 kills. Yeah, 11 point. ASU's opponents have 11.25 kills per game. For Baylor, they're ninth. Their opponents, and again, they're not too far off of ASU. They're 11.75 opponents' kills per match. So again, but when you look at kills, ASU is seventh with 13.4 per match, and Baylor is 10th at 13.19. ASU's got 13.44. Baylor, like I said, 13.19. Iowa State leading with 14.38, and BYU right behind them at 14.28. So, but again, the Devils 7th, the Bears 10th. When we go to opponents' blocks, ASU is 9th. Their opponents have 2.06 blocks per game on them. And Baylor's 14th, though. Their opponents have 2.48 blocks per set against them. So, yeah, that in and of itself right there, you're thinking, okay, so ASU not getting blocked a ton, but Baylor, like I said, they are at 14th, and it's at 2.48. Cincinnati's leading at 1.24, so their opponents are not really blocking them. Yeah, I mean, you have quite a few teams. You have 7 teams under 2. Kansas is at 1.97, UCF at 1.94, that team down south at 1.9, Utah at 1.87, Houston at 1.63, West Virginia at 1.51. Like I said, Cincy at 1.24. So those opponents are not blocking them. Now, as for blocks, who's number one? Who's number one? Who should be number one? Yes, the Sun Devils, the reigning Big 12 champs, are number one. They average 2.90 blocks per set. That is number one, just ahead of Houston at 2.84. Baylor's at 12, though. They're at 2.13, so just over 2. The Devils almost at 3 per set. This is interesting, though. Opponents' service aces, ASU is third at, ASU is third, which is good. Their opponents' ace at 0.9. It's actually, they're tied for, well, they're listed as third, but it would be tied for second because Kansas is at 0.96 and ASU is at 0.96. BYU is at 0.91. But yeah, opponent's service aces, second, third, whatever. 0.96. Baylor, though, is 7th at 1.13. So, you can almost get 2 aces per set. Again, 2 more free points, guys. Service aces, though, ASU is 6th with 1.54. Baylor, though, right ahead of them. That's the one area that Baylor is ahead of them. They're at 1.63. So who knows? Devils get a little revenge for yesterday or for last year tonight, and then they get they get a revenge from last year and jump ahead of them in aces. And then opponents' digs per set. ASU is 7th, but their opponents are digging 12.42 digs per set. Baylor is at 9th. Their opponents at 12.67. Digs, though, the Sun Devils are in 8th, which, again, is, as much as they did last year, absolutely crazy to me. But 13.38 digs per set, pretty dang good. Baylor, though, is actually in 6th. Devils are in 8th. Baylor's in 6th, so at 13.5. So, yeah. So, this is interesting, though. Opponents' service aces. ASU is third. ASU is third. So it's going to be. Well, they're listed as third, but it would be tied for second because Kansas is at 0.96 and ASU is at 0.96. Service aces, second, third, whatever. 0.96. Baylor, though, is 7th at 1.13. So you can almost get 2 aces per set. Again, 2 more free points, guys. And service aces, though, ASU is 6th, 1.54. Baylor, though, right ahead of them. secondary that Baylor is at. They're at 1 point. But yes, sorry about that. Baylor, they are, when we look at their leading their team in kills, by the way, is Manuela by Binby. She has 143 to lead the Bears so far this season, and following her, Ksenia Ksenia Rockmanchik has 108. And then Bailey Warren has 97. Victoria Davis has 87. Gabrielle Essex has 86. And then you have MJ McCurdy at 60 and Grace Carroll at 58, and others, chiming in with some here. But yeah, I mean, it's team 686 kills on the season, 13.19 kills per set. So, like I told you, they have 85 aces so far as a team. And Harley Crack has 20 of those. Yeah, she's got 20 aces on the season to lead the team. And then Tahani Ulufatu has 15 aces, and Morgan Madison has 13. MJ McCurdy, mentioned her obviously, and 60 kills, but has 12 aces. And then, a team that, again, like ASU, is going to challenge you on the serve. And they're going to try and hit their zones, hit their spots, and just drive that ball at you, get you out of system, of course. Where have we heard this before? Coach Van Neal, his team, all that phenomenal stuff. So, yes. But that is going to be that. So, anyway, that is that. That is Wednesday. Mike days at Hump Day. Woo, woo. Yep, that's for Mama, as always. So, we're going to get out of here. Again, volleyball tonight, 7 p.m. 7 p.m. at Desert Financial Arena as Baylor is here. So, again, get on out there. Let's go. Let's rock it. And we shall go from there. But, yes, have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Again, reviewing the game, starting to preview more football, talk a little more soccer too. Oh, and hockey. Yes, don't forget. Yes, that's the class. Believe me, we will get to it. So, yeah, talk a little hockey, talk review the game, talk a little more hockey tomorrow. And yeah, soccer as well. So it'll be here. Look, just put it down on your calendar. Come enjoy lunch with me here on Pitchfork Lunch. So nonetheless, have a phenomenal rest of your Wednesday. I will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. And yes, reigning Big 12 champs. And now ring owners, women's volleyball, reminded me, it is hashtag our state. And you guys know it. Go Devils. And as always, forks up.
I went to Arizona State.
Right.
I'm a Sun Devil, man.
27-yard line. That's a great call. Way fake. Plummer will put it up. Throws over the middle. Pull. Touchdown. Quick flag.
3rd down and 5. Levis swings it to Scadaboo. Scadaboo breaks defenders. Here he goes again. Scadaboo is the running back, and he is immediately met in the backfield, runs through the contact, and then throws a shoulder for good measure.
Bench on this defense here. That is true. High in the air. Right center field. Brandon Compton. Welcome to 2025. Drag walks up and down. Edwards pulls off and buries it. Richardson drives out for Robbie Ryan. Hurt 3 right on the money.